If you had it, you wouldn't hurt it. It has a feed in, just a few. Wow.
I know. See the big yellow buses.
Furniture around here. I know it. It's kind of fancy, but it's just like, the star chain. Oh, it'd be like this. Well, you get to something.
Yeah, you're ready. I'm not giving up a lot of shit to that because I had to fly a lot. So I didn't read it today. Work last couple weeks been crazy. We had 2 fire tests. And so I was working late for my night each week. What's that? Oh, just pretty good. He said that's. Your case not good? One of them, so one of them is. One of them was to locate for it. It's been located through the coastal project we've been ongoing since the spring. The fiber's been located within the 10-foot window. One is. Really good. And the company drilling, they drilled and cut right through it. Okay, I was. Fish on the city, I was on call last month. Lucky. Yeah, look at me. I get a lot of time. 2 fiber tests in 2 weeks.
It's nice.
Are we responsible? No, I just use WinTech. And then we get a contractor out there and then they'll do it, but. You know, I just, since it was a city project, we'd notify the city, so they could shut down work. Wow, get the leaders off the ball and all kinds of fun stuff, so.
43 open, yes.
That's what we was growing on. What was you? That was you guys? Thank you so much. I mean, I was surprised at that, doesn't it? Now
You got a trailer, I think, $34 is all.
Really? Now it makes sense. That was a lot of extra. That was a lot of extra.
Is that behind the?
My truck.
No,
No,
in
no.
our neighborhood. Oh. Okay.
Attend the meeting,
Order for it.
Somebody's just pick it up when they go through.
At the church.
That's what I get.
Like in 40 different piles somewhere, they're not gonna take time to do that. Let's go to Dale.
She was crying because she was maybe happy. We were doing that.
Oh, no. Here's George.
There's more. That's awesome.
There was more than I thought.
There's not there.
But trailer helps.
You already committed yourself.
yeah, it's a minute before 6 o'clock. Any objections if we get going early? Early by a minute or two. Let's talk about changes to the agenda a little bit, okay? First off, I'll call, it looks like everybody's here, all councilors are here, and the attorney decided to show up.
Yes,
Great. But I know that Georgia sent out some stuff about LWG CPS advisors. Do you want to consider talking about that in this meeting, or do you want to have a special meeting or talk about it later?
I'd like to do a special meeting.
Okay, good, great. So we won't add that to the agenda. Does anybody else have anything to add to the agenda? I'd like to point out to everybody, we are on worldwide TV. We are being zoomed. And so if you want to wave to everybody, you can do that, but just be aware of that. With that all said and done, I guess our first order of business is the budget adoption. That's Georgia, do you want to? Is there anything I need to talk about on that?
I'm sorry, I was engaged with your financial advisor who gave you the documents, and I was just asking him if he wanted to address you while he was on.
Sure, if it's short. And that's Tim.
Robert Reynolds.
I can't read that small writing.
Yeah, I had put together some rate impacts for the proposed sewer project. Is that something we want to talk about at this meeting? I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear. You talked about moving that to, was that what you were referring to, moving to another?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
a special meeting.
Yeah. So I mean that was really what I had to discuss. So outside that, there's really nothing for me to really discuss today then.
Okay. Sounds good. If you
Unless-
want to hang around,
I'm actually on vacation in Hilton Head. My daughter's fall breaks this week. Unless Georgia, is there something you wanted me to address?
No, thank you. You should enjoy your vacation.
Okay, thank you guys so much. And yeah, just let me know when that special meeting will be. I'm happy to come up the battleground for that one. I appreciate allowing me to do Zoom, but I always think those meetings are better if I in person. But thank you guys, and I look forward to further discussing this.
thank you.
All right, bye.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Would you like to?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 8th board meeting and September 15th special meeting. Second.
Motion by Chad, second by Steve Hahn. Any discussion, counselors? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. We have I'm gonna substitute around just a little bit here. We have some guests, is it Chad and Carrie? Chet and Carrie. You're wanting to appeal, you want to talk about the appeal on this stormwater?
Right.
Do you want to make a quick summary statement or?
Right, so we own the property on 504 Jewett Street. And we got a bill for stormwater drainage. For one, there's no stormwater drainage on Jewett Street, period. There's not one drain cover, there's not one curb, there's nothing on Jewett to even charge me for. For two, we can't have utilities there at all. So there's no reason to charge us for stormwater drainage. And realistically, if Battleground had a substantial amount of stormwater drainage, where's it gonna go? In my backyard. So realistically, you're gonna charge me because my yard gets flooded. It doesn't make any sense why I'm getting charged for stormwater drainage.
Counselors, thoughts?
It's a good point.
It is. Great point.
What's the problem with waiving it? Any problems with waiving it?
I cannot do that. It's up to you. Your utility was set up for every parcel, whether or not it's improved. You have a one rate for land that does not have any impervious surfaces, and you have a home site rate, and then you have a square foot, they have a equivalent rate for, say, the school, that their lots are almost entirely impervious, so they pay more than one home site rate, they pay multiples. So the half, it's $11 now, it's been $11 for many years. The property owner prior to them was paying that. The property owner of the 52 acres up on 43, that's farmland, they also pay that rate, but unimproved is half of the 11, so they're paying $5.50 a month. And the thought when the utility was created was every parcel contributes to the town's needs for managing stormwater. That's what paid for Tomahawk Lane, that's what will pay for the current, currently under advisement, the structures that need attention, it'll pay for those. It pays for regulatory expenses. And up till now, you haven't had a need to waive any parcels. I don't have any that are exempt at this time. So that's why it's in front of you as the utility board to decide if you're going to start exempting. Because if you do one, you will have others. And it might be worth going back and if you're gonna take that route, revise your utility ordinance the way it was set up.
Comments, counselors?
Engineering, any thoughts?
Yeah, we assisted the town in establishing your stormwater utility. Battleground is a member of the Tippecanoe County Partnership for Water Quality with Dayton, Lafayette, West Lafayette, Purdue University, and Tippecanoe County. Because you're inside an MS4, which the state and federal government has made you get a permit for managing your stormwater, and you're responsible to participate in that partnership. Maintain your 6 minimum control measures, some of which the partnership does as a collaborative group to help defray expenses from any one entity having to do them all. And some of the others that Ron has to do on a day-to-day basis, clean your structures, maintain your system. Follow best management practices for if you have a spill, what you do and everything else. So there's a lot more to it. Why his property may not correctly have a lot of stormwater infrastructure on it. It is part of the town and it is part of the team's, regulatory responsibility. And as Georgia mentioned, there's also capital funds that can be saved up and go towards larger projects to help improve and put infrastructure where it's either broken and failed or where it doesn't exist yet. So that's what I can chime in, I guess.
How many properties in town might apply for an exemption, Georgia? Do you have a feel for that?
I don't, we discussed this a couple months ago and, at that time, there were no questions and I haven't done any additional research.
It's been $11 a month.
It's not, it's.
No, I understand. No, I understand.
You're pretty much turning it into an HOA. You're not turning it into stormwater drainage. You know what I mean? The name on the bill says stormwater drainage. I wasn't informed on this when I bought this property. Or this would have been a huge deterrent for me buying this property,
We shouldn't have to pay for utility that doesn't exist.
Right, especially when you guys won't let us have utilities. You know what I'm saying?
It's not us, it's the county.
It's a big. It's like you're just trying to get me to pay, but I'm really not getting anything for what I'm paying. I'm not gonna live, I don't live without that. So what you guys do to Battleground is not gonna affect me. You know what I mean? So that's another thing where it's like, yeah, you're saying you're putting this into the community, you're putting it into a community that I don't live in.
But you have an investment in here. You bought land, correct?
Right, but would you call that investment or would you call that just a buy?
Well,
Okay,
I'm not gonna say, but the thing is that maybe
I mean,
and it should go back to the people who bought the land. Right? Cause did they have utilities at the time?
no, they did not.
And did you know that you couldn't have?
I was told that there would be no utilities when I purchased this. I purchased this property as a piece of land with no utilities.
The bottom line
I
here,
can go back through my purchase agreement and see, but I bought this as a piece of land, not as something with utilities.
the question for me is, how many additional properties in town might fall into this category? I don't think there's very many. One or two, maybe more. It's not like exempting this gentleman is gonna create a cascading effect. That's my take on it. What's your preference?
Parcels on Jewett are the same way. All of the parcels on that creek are the same. There's
But they're
no,
developed.
but being developed isn't
But they have
part of the
access.
utility. The ordinance for the utility identifies what's different for undeveloped, not that they're not participating in the fee structure.
Counselors?
Yes, what I take from this is what engineering said was that it's part of our regulatory responsibility to maintain that infrastructure. Even though it doesn't exist yet, or exist there currently. Because it's $5.50, right, for when they don't have the infrastructure there.
Right, if the house was gone, it could be identified just as a.
Okay, so they let it
vacant
burn.
land. Yeah, if there's no impervious surfaces there, then it would be half of that.
What's your pleasure, counselors?
I think we just keep up the way it is. I mean, I'd be in the same boat as him, come here. I got a structure. No utilities on it, but You know, we do it for one, we'll have to do it for,
Is there, do you have anything on the property right now? There's dirt.
It's a house, right?
Other house.
The house.
If you wanna call it that, it's an outbuilding. I have 2 outbuildings on the property. But like you guys are saying, even if I tore down the outbuilding. My initial plan is I live down the street. My initial plan was to buy everything out from 300 to Jewett eventually. That was my end goal. I didn't realize that this was part of Battleground. Kind of spaced my brain when I bought it, that this was a part of Battleground, or I probably wouldn't have bought it in the first place, just to be honest.
But maybe the best thing for you to do is to sell it.
Working on it.
We're working on it.
Okay. Councilors, it's like we need to move on. Yay or nay,
I say leave it the way it is.
yeah,
I think you probably,
I agree.
I'd say that, yeah, I mean.
you see the consensus kind of, let's leave it the way it is. All right, thank you.
So when we don't pay it, what's the deal?
You'll probably have a lien put on it,
Okay.
which, and when you do convey the property to somebody else, that would come out of whatever the price is. So,
Yeah, we'll just take another vote.
yeah, thank you. Councilors, do you want to do the town attorney next, or do you want to do contract services?
Well, do we have to do the budget adoption first?
That we were on that one.
Good point. Budget adoption.
The town has advertised the budget for 2026. That's required by the State Department of Local Government Finance. It's been in your packet as ordinance 2025-654. The adopted budget for the one home rule fund that's not part of the DLGF review is our public safety, which is funded by local income tax. And that amount is provided to us by Tippecanoe County as a function of their distribution to all taxing municipalities. So the adopted budget for that is 50,000. The adopted budget for the reviewed funds, which are controlled by other than local government, other than the LIT, would be a total adopted budget of $1,494,193, which translates to a tax rate of 0.6299.
I'm not finding that in my packet. Show me.
Nope, nope,
No,
I thought maybe I was listening.
same here, I was. Fine, not.
Do you want to move on while Georgie gets us a copy of all that?
it's no different than what you saw at the hearing, but I will provide those.
So while she is doing that, do we want to entertain town attorney first or contract services? What's your pleasure, close? Town attorney then.
All right. So, first item on my list is Woods Edge, UMH. You're ready to go as soon as we have our financial advisor in place, and as you just heard from George and may have seen from the email. And in front of you are the documents that have been sent by the financial advisor. And once those are approved, then we're going to be asking the financial advisor to put together a proposal that would then go to UMH. The terms of the actual contract are pretty much set. What's not set are the financial terms. So, you know, it's the contract between UMH and the town is more than finance. And so you've got those other terms pretty well set. And now we've got to make sure that those are the financial terms, which is going to include a down payment for sure. And then potentially a raise for UMH that would be different than the rate for the rest of the town, so if those are all things that can be considered and. I don't know what the time frame is, Georgia. Did our financial advisor give us any thought on time frame, or being able to get some kind of a proposal put together?
I'm sorry, I missed the first.
I was
part. The
gonna-
Proposal for.
UMH, yeah, or was that discussed specifically?
Not specifically, what he has been working on was to give the council an overview of what would happen in different scenarios. So he has given them information if they want to look at it tonight, but looks like they're gonna choose a different special meeting.
So as soon as, so I don't know the exact time frame, but he's working on it, which is good. And once we have that, we'll send it to him and see what we got. So we're kind of on hold for the remainder of that agreement to get the financial stuff put together. Any questions on that? If not, I guess we just dealt with 504. Jewett Street, that's listed there. And 102, we have the lien. Kyle got all the information from me, Kyle from my office, and as the lien filed. I don't believe there was any court process necessary unless we were going to try and do something with that vehicle.
The other thing about 504 is it represents as the same type of thing as a house that's only, it's not cited, it has. It's vacant, it's not being mowed, so. Kind of falls in the same category as 102 Jewett in my mind, as far as keeping it open.
And he said there were no utilities. What's that mean? They just haven't hooked up?
No.
Eligible if it's
It
in
was-
good shape?
It is in a floodplain and it was not energized for more than 12 months. And the county would not give a permit for electricity there because of that.
Okay, so the use in the floodplain lapsed and cannot continue. Okay.
Unless he raises his property.
Oh,
Yeah. Not good.
okay. Well, and it's the same situation as you said. I think the difference is there's never gonna be anybody occupy it, and he's hoping, sounds like demolition by nature. So how long is that gonna take? Decade, decades?
It's got a good roof.
It's not a good roof. Maybe somebody could buy the roof. That's too bad. You can do the same thing. You can go in, you can remediate. I think in this particular case. And I don't think we have all the situation that we did with the 102 where there's neighbors and there's rats and I guess people are, just right up close to it, just like any other
Yeah.
residential area. Is it kind of sitting out on its own?
The lots are a little wider,
I can't really.
but there are people all around.
So I think it's like a lot of things, at least in my opinion, that all government does. If there's a complaint, you deal with the complaint. If there's not a complaint. You can deal with it, but with all of the issues to address, you can't address every one of them. So most towns, cities are complaint based. And that's something that I think becomes how you weed out between the thing you have to jump on and the thing you don't. Somebody's worried about it and try and address it. If nobody's worried about it, then you let it sit. But you have the exact same rights as you did in 102, and it means you can go in, you can remediate again. Fixing walls that are never going to be inhabited doesn't seem like a good expenditure of anybody's money to me. But it is.
People that are unhappy are the people across the street that have to live at the uncounted margin.
Sure. Well, you can certainly.
That's
do
the
the
only
yard.
ones that I hear from are the ones right around.
You can certainly do the yard. The other one was a little bit, you went farther with 102 than you have in the past just because of special circumstances of that structure. They don't exist at all here. So you could do the yard, you could do whatever else needs to be done to make it look presentable and then that goes as a lane. So however you want to handle that. Is there anything else on that one, Ron? Other than weed height? That's
Nothing I'm aware of.
yeah, nothing else screaming for attention.
Are you going in and knocking down the weeds occasionally?
I have not.
Somebody has, so.
At 504, The man across the street gets tired of looking at it, so he goes over and mows, but he asked me how many times he had to do that. And I said, well, as long as you're plowing it, there's really nothing for us to give an ordinance violation on. So.
Okay, any, are you done?
Yeah, I'm all done. If there are any questions, we have to address them.
Any question for Mr. Burns?
Right, so, thank you, folks.
Yes.
If you want me at the special meeting, I'll see if I can get the schedule to work out. Don't necessarily have to, but that's probably has to do. It's gonna be much more financial meeting than legal, so I'd say that's iffy whether you want me there. But I will make that effort if you'd like.
Thank you.
So just let me know. Thank you. And are these all those copies that we got emailed to us? Okay, I'll take those. And just a quick look fine again. Feel that?
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Adios, amigos. What I need is. Good weekend.
You're up.
All right. So BFNS, we can give our updates on the ongoing projects we have here. So for Hawks Nest, first off, thanks everyone for reviewing those emails and kind of the decision-making process on keeping this project moving along. So appreciate your feedback and input on that as we work towards getting this across the finish line. With that, working on getting those two valves installed now. I know we had some concerns on the pipe material inside.
Yeah, we actually hydro excavated that last week. Did not find any markings on the pipe. We went ahead and ordered both different types of valves. Different cartridge sizes, so that we could go ahead and we're going to end up. Without getting in the weeds, basically what we gotta do, we gotta dig it up. Where we're placing these valves, we're gonna have to get a size of the pipe internally, so that means poking a hole in live water main. So we get an idea of the pipe, so we know what size cartridge to put in. So we had to order the smaller diameter, so they're 7 to 10 days out. Once those arrive, we'll be back out there to finish this project. So at this time, I'm talking as a contractor, not the counselor. At some point in time, this council and the conservancy need to have a conversation. I'm tired of myself being thrown under the bus for this project. And there's people sitting in this audience right here, okay, that don't know all the facts. I'm tired of bullshit. You sat in a meeting and you know what? This is being recorded. It's on YouTube. So we were able to watch the conservancy. And there's people sitting in this room that just lied. And it's bullshit. And I'm not gonna tolerate it because it makes us look bad. So there needs to be a meeting between both parties. And the air needs to get cleared. There is blame, and there's fault with the town of Battleground and the conservancy both. Has nothing to do with the contractor, has nothing to do with these folks sitting in this room. Has nothing to do with the GM development either.
Why is that?
Why is that?
Yeah,
You wanna know why?
yeah.
Because this guy right here and Mr. Gimmick, their responsibilities locates. 100%, that lays on this town board. And
Okay.
it lays on the conservancies. And those guys can't do their job, nor can I. If these guys don't locate utilities in the right location.
I got that.
When we drilled through a force main, which is ours,
I know.
the locates were 25 feet off. They're all state laws. Where my responsibility is 2 feet either side, plus the diameter of the pipe. That's as far as mine goes. That's as far as theirs goes. So we could sit here and argue about this all night.
No,
We have plenty of other shit.
There's no argument at all.
No,
Yeah, I agree with.
so
The
we have,
locates were in error.
yes,
Okay,
badly.
and. Who does the locates going forward in the future?
Is a conversation to be had.
Yes, some remediation needs to happen.
Yes.
No. No issue on that.
There's a lot of expense that's been incurred by us, GM, and these folks. Based upon this poor locates. That's unfortunate. And we've caught the one, so bottom line is we're moving forward and we're gonna get this thing done. So
Any response to Matt's comments? Next,
Any other questions for us on SNES? I think that kind of wraps it up.
got an end date? No, won't even go there, won't even go
I'm not
there.
gonna say anything.
Won't ever
because
go there.
It never happens. As of right now, we have stuff uncovered and spent a lot of time uncovering utilities. So
Okay,
we think we know where everything's at. We think.
what's next?
Quick update on Gateway Regional Projects. We've got, our surveyors have been out and have started collecting field data for the design of that project. So they started out about 2 weeks ago and have had some time on different properties collecting topographic information. We did have some meetings last week with a couple different property owners on that stretch between 650 and 600. Addressing some concerns that they had and then concerns that they had with our teams on their property. Both were positive meetings. I think both went well and the property owners left with a better understanding of the project and its intent and what the final footprint will be. And then we left with a better understanding of what the really what kind of value we can offer to the different owners in this project. So that went well. And then we have started engaging our utility coordination teams to start identifying all the utilities that will either be in close proximity to, crossing, parallel to, no conflict. We're just working on identifying all those utilities, not just water and sewer, but gas, electric, telecom, all the other.
How many companies are you under contact for that?
I don't know the count yet, but I would not be surprised if it's a dozen.
That's what I'm wondering.
Everything from overhead electric lines, which have 5 or 6 different owners and utilities on each of those, to the underground gas pipes and electric conduit and everything. So that's underway. And as all that data is being collected, we're producing our design drawings for that project to be able to get that guaranteed maximum price from Bowen on that. They are also, Bowen is working on the GMP report #1 for that phase 1 of replacing the pumps and other components up at that Woods Edge lift station. Last I heard from them, they're buttoning up that estimate and we're hopeful to have that pretty soon. The public or private agreement between Bowen and the town, I think, is in your hands to review and let us know if you have any comments or adjustments, clarifications to make. Your attorney has reviewed that and had some comments that we incorporated into the set that you're reviewing now. So as you have comments, please feel free to let us know and we can either help clarify things for you and insert those comments and changes into it or whatever you need us to do to help get that finalized.
There is contingency money in this for locates, correct?
There should be, yes. We've got
Storm.
money on our side for engagement with a subsurface utility investigator, and then we've had a lot of conversations with Bowen, so they know that there needs to be contingency funds that are specifically helping for.
So did I just hear you say that the town is not, and the Water Conservancy will not be involved in locates? Is that how?
The County Conservancy will still have to locate their own, but where we identify areas where there will be crossings or we think they're close proximity, we have contracted with a subsurface utility investigation company. They will go pothole, put physical eyes on each of those pipes and make sure we know exactly what in all the critical locations. So we still rely on the town and conservancy to give those initial locate information data back to us.
They still have to put the paint on the ground.
We still have to put the paint on the ground and then any paint.
Are we obliged to do that?
What's that? That's,
Can we contract that out?
yeah, but it's process to go through, yeah. I mean, USIC, there's several different locate companies.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
that
there's several different locate companies.
historically, we don't have a good track record. So, sorry, Ron.
No, we
Well,
don't.
it's hard to, without a tracer wire, it's hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
it-
In Hawks Nest, we don't have any maps from Hawks Nest. When the town took that over from the county, we did not get the as-built for Hawks Nest.
How do the councilors feel about contracting out that service, that locate service for the town?
that's doing some research. I mean, it's not a question. A lot of people do it. Indiana American just did that. They just offloaded theirs onto a locate company.
And they'll be in a similar situation to what the town is now for a lot of these pipes, plastic pipes with no tracer wire. Their surface locates are gonna be
these guys, I mean,
Ask for.
when these guys put a set of documents together, just use Hawks Nest for example. They're relying on whatever documentation this town has. They're relying on whatever he goes out or Dan puts on the ground. So then they take and they essentially as-built that, their marks. And that's what goes on the documents. So if those are not accurate, my job's not accurate. Bowen's isn't accurate. Whoever comes into town is not accurate. So that's a problem.
And that's a problem to be solved beforehand, in
Correct.
my opinion, because we didn't solve it this time and the project's 2 years of late, you know? So I like,
From our end, if we are told ahead of time, hey, these are the locates, but we are not confident with them. That allows us to then have another party come in and perform those physical locates where we're digging, excavating, getting physical eyes on that. We have that contracted now for Gateway. But we would still need paints on the ground to get that initial, where we start digging finally.
so what I just heard you say is that we still need to do the locates, but they need to be confirmed.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's-
Yeah.
And it'll be confirmed by a third party.
Correct.
I'm sorry,
That they've already hired.
that's fine.
For just this project.
Right, and I get that, and I'm not saying that, but to spend town money on going out and then them spending that.
No,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's silly. I agree.
Yeah.
I think everybody's on the same page. We wanna avoid this happening again. Okay, comments, counselors?
Just one, the good news is that they're documenting all everything they're putting in. On
That's
their
what,
bills.
when we were up at Hawks Nest, that's what I mean, when we uncovered most of that stuff. Chris came out, his folks came out, did a bunch of shooting stuff, we got pictures,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of data from that.
Those will be in the comprehensive.
Yeah,
asset.
it'll be in everything.
So whoever comes after us,
That's documented.
It goes back to what Jim, you said, historical data, there's no,
We're pulling 2 tracer wires on the.
we pulled two tracer wires, so there's 2 tracer wires from up there down to the plant.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Any questions for,
One last thing I want to remind, because there's folks sitting here as well. This project was delayed on the front end as well too, because we had an issue with access. Everybody seems to have forgotten that.
I haven't forgotten.
It's almost 9
I'm
months.
well aware of that.
Almost 9 months. So there you go. There's another item right there. So it adds up.
Well, and yeah,
I got a question here.
okay, hurry.
We go out to an outside source to get located. Can we get Water Conservancy to help foot the bill if we're gonna?
We're gonna have that discussion through the water
Everybody,
conservancy.
yeah, that's
So that's
this is
just,
part of the reason we need to have conversation between all of us, because he goes out and locates for the conservancy locates for us, just as I asked in the previous meeting. So we have taken, in my opinion, we've taken liability on when he goes out and locates for the conservancy. Is that not correct? You locate for them from time to time?
Just on Fox Nest.
Okay. And Dan comes out and locates for us from time to time, right?
He does quite a bit.
So. Who's liable if something gets hit?
we need to have clarification on that.
Absolutely.
Any other questions along these lines
I
of,
have a question.
yes,
I'm just listening to this locate question discussion. I have a couple other questions on Hawks Nest, but if Ron or Dan say we don't know where they are, wouldn't that be helpful in the beginning? So that, first of all, if you don't know where they are, don't spend any time trying to locate them. And then just have somebody else do it. I mean, it seems like silly to have water and sewer go out and market when they don't really know where it is.
good point.
Well, I mean, honestly, on the up front of this job, I don't remember who it was. I remember sitting in a meeting. But it was said that our locators knew where everything was at, so they weren't worried about it. So
What now?
that was the
Say
premise.
we
So
don't know
these
where it is.
guys were not paid to do that.
So in hindsight, we know what not to do.
Well, if you don't know where it is, say you don't know where it is.
That's right.
The other question I have is, 7 to 10 days out, you ordered the 2 vets,
That's true.
so. They're not back ordered, they're gonna be
No,
in
they-
7 to 10 days, great,
We ordered them Friday,
and we have 2, so we know we've got 1 that's gonna work.
one order.
What water shut off or anything is that gonna, Shawnee Ridge gonna experience as a result of those valves going in?
My understanding is that Shawnee Ridge will be shut down. For. I'm gonna say maximum of 2 hours. Okay? Okay, and we're not talking days.
Yeah.
Maximum of 2 hours.
Okay,
They're gonna use Woods Edge. Everything's gonna be out of water. We'll get the 2 valves in, recharge.
As long as we know, like 24 hours in advance, that would be, I would think not
It's gonna be-
very inconvenient.
So after that's done, is there boil water?
I would tend to say probably so, but I'm not gonna answer for the conservancy.
And there's so many hours before you have boil.
I think you're correct. So basically what we do, just give you guys a rundown. I mean, you guys are citizens up there as well, as you're, got water. So basically what we do is we go and put these valves in. We stop the water from that point. Pieces of pipe that we're putting in, they're made in our shop. They've been in our shop for over a month, or 2 months now, whatever they are. So what we do is we hyperchlorinate all that, we wipe everything down with chlorine bleach, okay? Then we turn around when we put that stuff in, charge it with chlorine again, okay? We put the water back to it, and we flush. So there should not be, again, we're all human, we got dirty hands and shit like that, we're gonna be a shitty environment. Okay, so the opportunity to get something in the pipe, yeah, it exists. Okay, but if we flush it, do the proper, go through the proper channels, I think everything will be fine, quite honestly. There's a lot of shit that you guys don't, that people don't see when we're doing water and stuff. and
long as we
they
just
Probably
keep
never want to drink
communication
water
line
in, but.
So the residents know what to expect and what they can.
Does the conservancy give a notification before shutdowns like this will happen?
We'll let them know and see how it
Make
works.
sure that they. You do, since that's from that.
Don't they have ability to send text?
Mhm. I guess the other question I have, and it's kind of like the elephant in the middle of the room, who's paying for it? Now that we had this,
To be determined.
oh, I see, okay.
Am I right on it?
No, you're correct.
Yeah, okay.
You're correct. That's my understanding. It's gonna be 2 to determined. To be
Yeah,
determined.
that's gonna be a discussion. Yeah.
Any-
Anything else? Yes,
I haven't been here the last 2 times I've had conflicts, but have we discussed the pond again and the dredging and that you guys are, the town of Allen Ground is responsible for that? And while equipment is down there, getting that done? Has that been discussed again?
not that I'm
Because-
aware of.
I don't know about dredging up on.
Well, and I figured you didn't,
I have no idea.
but there's equipment down
I
there,
have no idea.
there's availability to this. And
Sure.
that pond needs dredged, it's not been dredged since it was there, since it was
Is
created.
that our pond or is that the?
That's a HOA's pond, or is it?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, it
Yeah,
was
there was
built.
a president, whoever was here at a meeting said that was aiding the. HOA.
When you
turned
guys
over to us.
acquired us, you said you would take care of the pond. It needs dredged.
Oh,
So that.
first time hearing of it.
That outlaw was never transferred, it's still owned by the HOA because they wanted the park there. So it's
Do you
not
have
really,
that in
a-
writing then, because Jason was
Oh,
in
I'm
the
looking.
HOA at that point?
I'm looking at the county website, but
No, I understand that it's still in our name, but I'm talking about writing that you're not responsible for the pond, because the pond was put there. Because of all the drainage issues. The pond was not there when the HOA acquired the land.
it would have been required by the developer to provide runoff area.
It's horrible.
Okay, so, I gather the pond needs to be
This
dredged.
is the only one that the town.
Who actually will do that? We'll have to have that discussion, okay? And hopefully, we'll work out those details and if. I don't
I
know
don't
what,
want him to fix everything back to the way that it was, because that's what he said he's done. And then someone come in and tear crap up because they need to dredge the pond. Does that make sense? There's access there, there's a road to get back there, all that kind of stuff. So, and we brought it up. I mean, I haven't been here for 2 months, this was brought up 3 months ago. At the meeting, so,
as I say in communication, keep repeating, keep repeating.
I don't mean,
I
I
know, okay,
be here unfortunately,
I think
so.
there's more, there's the pond, but then there's also repair and
We got a lot of
drainage, there's a
restoration.
lot of stuff that needs to be done back there before
Not
the
the pond,
project's all
but-
done.
yes,
Access road that we did for the.
Right, so the pond is part of it, but then all that behind the
Yes.
fence needs to be put
And-
back to where it was or better.
and Matt is aware of that.
Yeah, that's part of our restoration.
Right.
Once we get the ARV set up in the corner, it's, yeah. we'll
So what Julie was saying was when you're doing that restoration, which I don't know if that's the last thing to be done or
That'd be
whatever.
the last thing we decide.
The pond needs to be included in that, and then that's when the discussion has to happen. Right,
So this is a 2016 aerial. that shows. The pond, if that's the one that's being discussed.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't look anything like that.
Because
It's not.
it was on that.
Can we talk about this? Instead of taking up meeting time? to
I'm
work
totally
out
okay with it. I just wanna
Okay.
put it on the radar.
I appreciate that, and I think it's finally penetrating our heads a little bit.
Yeah.
It was brought up on the June 14th meeting.
I'm gonna say I haven't been here.
Thank you, Ed.
I remember coming up.
Yeah,
Been a bit.
I mean, just we have access, there's gotta be equipment going down there, like, it just makes sense.
Right.
It would be good to get a feel for what type of equipment would be needed to dredge that.
Yeah,
I might know.
Yeah, I would think you would know.
is that something you do?
We-
Okay,
Okay, so, Matt, you might be thinking
Oh.
about how you could work that into your budget or what extra fee that.
We don't know.
What?
We don't own that parcel. It has never been deeded to the town. There was another outlaw that was, but not that one because. It was, the HOA wanted to retain control of it for their, or park. And town was not gonna say that they would do a park.
So Julie, do you see the problem that's
I
coming?
do. I will see if I can find the paperwork.
And if
because
you can find the
Jason
paperwork,
Swears you guys said that it would be taken care of.
Is that part of the 20-foot easement? The 20-foot stormwater easement that goes through my property? And then wouldn't you be responsible for storm?
If there's an HOA, it just varies. If the HOA has an agreement. That the town would take care of part of their infrastructure, that could be part of it. Typically, it's set up, the HOA starts with all of that as their responsibility.
So if the town was to come on my property and do something to stormwater easement, I can tell them no.
Is there a stormwater pipe or is there a
No, it's-
stormwater swale?
It's a swale.
And who maintains the swale?
Doesn't sound like anybody. So
Yeah.
gathering.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean. You can't dam up the swale, so the town would have the ability to stop somebody from putting a fence up that would cause the water to be impeding on your neighbor.
But if the project. Disrupts that flow
Yeah.
of the swale.
That's,
It should put it back.
we'll
That's
put it back, we'll put it back.
That's-
So what, yeah, the way it was.
Or that the pond is probably there.
Okay. Thank you. It's encouraging to know what we've heard about the project. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad we're moving forward
So
Yeah.
we-
and we don't have an end date, but. We may be able to see the end in sight soon.
but Julie, if you could find out. Some documentation on,
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
It's kinda, I mean, like, I have all of it in my garage, but it's just,
yeah, good luck.
yeah,
Okay,
it's not organized at all.
Are you the new HOA person?
I'm the treasurer, that's it. But I seem to get,
Everything.
yeah, like the
Okay.
treasurer seems to get all of them.
I have a quick question for BFNS here. What would be the labor demands on Ron? On the Gateway project? Do you have a feel for that? I mean, because it seems like he's pretty involved.
During one part.
Well, on anything, because
Well, during design phase, which we're in right now, we'll have some reliance on him to give feedback to on our plans as we're drawing things up. If he's got thoughts and opinions and preferences on structures, pump designs, pump manufacturers, which we know he does, we'll have questions that we'll have on that will require his input. And then, I mean, during construction, he's the town's representative for field decisions that are made during this construction. It's our intent to have full-time inspection during the project. That's not part of our contract yet, but it was one that we have bracketed as a to be decided. That would help take a lot of load off Ron's shoulders for us to be out there full-time observing and
Documenting.
inspecting and documenting during construction.
the reason I bring it up, because time spent away from town activities, we need to be aware of it and and trying to anticipate our labor needs. So that's all I'm.
It's a large project, it'd be pretty intensive for Ron.
The money well spent to pay for RPR on the project, president, project rep.
So am I hearing that it would relieve Ron of
The most. A lot of it. I'd say 90%.
Yeah,
90% of it.
there'd still be a regular cadence of update meetings and,
yeah, but it would relieve him, it would take a big burden off of him.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for BMS folks?
And if
Okay,
you wanna set that financial advisor meeting, just let us know, we'll try to be available for that.
thank you. Last comments? Okay.
Should go to top again.
I'm sorry.
We should go to top to the budget adoption.
Yes, thank you. Georgia. Oh, well. Any questions about the budget? Well, what we're waiting on here.
Waiting on a motion, right?
Aye, it's like here.
Thank you. I'm like to make a motion on ordinance number 2025-654. Is that right?
Yes,
To adopt the budget ordinance.
A second.
motion by Mary Jo, second by Matt Kopic. Discussion, counselors? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye, motion passes unanimously. Thank you, counselors. Did you get that, Georgia?
And I'll start this around. There is a line, a box for your signature, and you do have to check aye, nay, or abstain for your vote.
Okay, perfect. Sure, I get the right place.
That's
You like being me, so.
Do you want to start talking about your topics, Georgia?
You have your register of claims from September to October 15, September 10th to October 15th. And then the total amount is $147,926, $28 each.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the register of claims from September 10th to October 13th, 2025.
Motion by Mary Jo, second by Steve Hahn to accept the register of claims. In the discussion, counselors? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, counselors.
In order to fund that budget, we have removed some items. Moved some dollars from the current budget. So in your packet, there should be a resolution 25-134. Which gives your approval to reduce the general fund by $550,000 for this year. And the rainy day fund be reduced by $300,000 for this year. The reason those were set so high was in anticipation that something might happen for town hall. The construction that we had anticipated for 5 or 6 years was budgeted, but we didn't use it, so we're going to reduce this year's budget, and we have requested that money be moved forward to.
Make a resolution or a motion to approve resolution 25-134.
Motion. Motion by Chad and seconded by Steve. Any discussion, counselors? So Georgia, we are moving close to $850,000 from our 2025 budget to the 2026 budget.
Make it available to budget in 2026.
Okay, thank you. All in favor, say aye, or
Aye.
aye, thank you. Motion passes, thank.
While you're signing them, I would like for you to initial, this is my bond for 2026. And the auditor likes to see that the council has signed your name and the date in this little tiny space available in the front of the bond application. So if you would do that for me, I'll have that goes into the recorder's office and it's filed.
We sign that or spot there.
So leave space for 4 more signatures. And another thing in your packet, just as a side note, is that there was a sample of the letter that went to everyone on High School Street. Advising them that there will be a sidewalk project and that we would give them more information and becomes available specific to how it affects them. If there's any questions on that.
Have you gotten feedback from any of those property owners?
So the two special meetings that we need to decide a date for, one would be the municipal financing with London Witty Group, which informs your decisions with Woods Edge or your agreement with them. And the other one, you may decide to work through committee, but we do have to work out the details of the 26 salary ordinance. And I was hoping that we would have that on the agenda for November. You absolutely have to pass it in December, but I would appreciate it if we would work it out so that we can have it happen for the November agenda.
So can we do the special meetings and cover both of those topics? What's your pleasure, councilors? Kimberly? Yeah.
27. I don't know. Georgia, do you have 27th open? It's Monday the 27th.
Yes, because that would normally be RDC, but they're meeting December. So yes, that one's open.
27, 6:20,
23rd, 27th.
I can go for the 23rd.
6.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Oh, it's 6, I'm sorry, yes. I think it's 6.
Looks like 27.
Looks like that's a date.
The other thing I'm holding here is the UZO amendment number 122. It's you gonna present it, but
Yeah, when we get, I can do it now or we can do it later. It's currently no direct impact for us, but something that we want to look at. Area plan, we passed an ordinance for the city of Lafayette, basically that would prevent gas stations being built in residential adjacent areas or in what's considered downtown areas of a city, so it reduces the number of zoning areas a gas station could be built. Also indicates anything that currently meets that has to be rezoned. They're giving a full year. Area plans giving a year for big gas stations to rezone the property. If they currently do exist there, we don't have anything in Battleground currently that would fit that. And then also, anything in there would have to also have a decommissioning plan. So if the gas station were to go out of business, Who's gonna be responsible for yanking those tanks out of the ground, who's gonna be responsible for things like that. So it's not on the city or the town to do so. So that's what this ordinance does. It basically prevents something like that from happening.
This sounds like a strange question.
Yeah.
Didn't there used to be a gas station downtown?
Mm-hmm.
Did they remove the tanks?
Well, there was one at the fire, standard station, fire department.
No, I don't know about the fire department, but.
The motorcycle shop and the haircut place,
Yeah, I thought they took out the tanks there.
they might have taken one up there.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of them.
Okay, just a weird question.
Only couple questions I got on this. Did anybody read this by chance?
Say it again.
Y'all read this whole thing? Glad you hit the high topics, but like, they're in here putting in like. The county has. Say on roof lines and what the slope of the roof is and what type of material they can use and. What type of exterior they can put on these things. I mean, isn't that a little bit overreach on my, that's just my opinion.
Yes.
I mean, it's.
This,
There's a bunch of shit buried in here. I don't disagree with the first part of it, but there's
Right.
other shit buried in here that just. It seems to me like it's,
Just like Carmel.
yeah, I'm just throwing that out there.
That way they were like to build a gas station.
I guess. It
So-
kind of shows it going. I mean, I don't think it's just in these areas though. It's as a, isn't it?
I believe it's just in the areas that.
Okay.
So it would be like if you're gonna build one. Near a residential area, you have to meet certain architecture.
So if it's, okay. So but they're saying you can't build it in a residential area, but then they're giving you.
Well, they're limiting what zones you can build it in, so that it's not too close to neighborhoods and things like that.
Okay.
So. That's the idea.
So do we have to make a motion to accept this?
That's the one brought up in.
What's that?
What's that?
Isn't this the one?
Yeah. Hold on, yeah.
Point of order. I'd like to request that you think about this a whole lot, because this might stop Quick Trip.
Yep. I don't disagree. There's my point. There's a bunch of shit in here that just doesn't make sense.
Fair enough. And I had a question about, fueling, does it say specifically gas? I mean, how about charging stations?
I actually think I think there was something about EV in there too.
I haven't read, you pointed it out, who's read it, You know?
Right.
I just skimmed through it and I was like, well, there's a bunch of shit in here that just kind of buried in here that. You hit the high points, but there might, don't hold me to that.
Next month, I'll come out with a color washes.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we need to table it for until the next meeting, until we have an opportunity to review it. Is that okay with all the councilors? I haven't seen any heads wagging left or right,
Yes.
so.
It's actually 1,000 feet for the. Truck stop, so that would. Essentially eliminate Quick Trip.
But would Quick Trips be grandfathered in because they already have construction?
Well, that was my question, would they, or
They don't have all their permits, they don't have it in the matter.
Okay, so it's tabled in any case. Thank you, Mr. Chad. Thank you, Matt, for pointing that out.
Once Quick Trip came up, I'll just add that I was contacted by them today and they believe they'll be ready to break ground in February, because the only thing they had left to do was with their materials. And they wanted to know what the address would be there, and because it's a holiday today, the county wasn't open for me to ask. But I will find out tomorrow how they're gonna number the building on Northgate Drive that you.
And so related to that, in your letter informing us of the accident there, have you questioned any news on stoplights and
Well,
what's the
again,
impact?
it was a holiday, so nobody's gonna answer me about that.
But-
until later.
Does anybody here in the room know where that stands or might stand?
They weren't on the email. After I learned of the severe accident at that intersection where there should be a light. Ask them to give us an update on the construction timeline for that, because our briefing is reading right now, and we need to know.
Is the stoplight contingent on Quick Trips going in?
Only if they're paying for it, probably, yeah.
Okay,
The last I knew on the stop traffic signal was that NDOT's requiring it, but they're doing a post installation warrant validation to show that. After the development of Quick Trip and the trips they generate comes, they pass the warrant need for having a single, so unless something's changed, they're putting it in. And then not requiring that
Yeah. Thank you for that clarification, Dave.
with pedestrian crossing.
That was my next question.
Good.
Anything else on Uzo or Quick Trips or other topics? Are you done, Jordan?
Yes, that's all I have. You.
Mr. Myers then?
Yeah, so just a couple of announcements on October 18th, we'll have a fall festival here in town. The traffic on P25 will be detoured onto Winning Street for that to go around. It's pretty much the same layout as we've had in years past. Also, other business, Chad and I met with Maddie. We were able to let her into this building and 107 as well to give her what she needed to see so that she can start doing some plans. So that's in progress. We're hoping to present something at the November meeting for that. I have one item I need declared surplus. We had a portable radio charger go bad on us. Got a new one from Raycom. They weren't able to fix the old one. So because it's a purchased item, we need to declare surplus. This has to have a vote, actually. It's a single unit portable radio charger made by Mobile Communications Unit.
So you'd like us to make motion to.
Declare that surplus.
Yeah,
Surplus, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to declare this charger to surplus.
Motion by Mary Jo, second by Chad. Any discussion? What are you smiling for, Mr. Han? All in favor? He's happy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, councilors. Motion passes.
Appreciate it. We are getting really stretched thin just because there's only a few of us trying to get everything done along with the ordinances and things. I looked back at the salary ordinance prior to July 24th. We had, counting myself, 6 total swing officers. We're on 5 officers now after the revision. I'm asking to bump that to what it originally was to 5 and then add an officer so we don't go through it again. It's in the near future, so 6 total officers. So I would ask if we can open 2 part-time deputy positions. The reason being that when we do part-time, we're relying on everybody's full-time job. So if somebody's taking off, we don't really have any other options to pull from. And we're trying to get too much done between too few people. We're not visible enough to the community as well. So
would that give us more coverage?
that would give us more coverage. Yeah, we could have more people.
Did
But
we use
really
some
would it be
extras?
nice? Yeah, we did. So to show that, I'm gonna pass that on, just 2 pages each person. There's the former salary ordinance that will show you there's 4 deputy positions and then the revision has 3. The community's complaints about us not having enough visibility are echoing our own complaints about that. But when you're restricted on hours being part-time and you don't have people that can fill in for you, this would give us a little bigger of a pool of people that we can get reliably on the schedule as well as have a couple extra phone numbers to call. That's another thought.
The ordinance would have 6 positions. Town marshal, deputy marshal, detective, deputy 1, deputy 2, and code enforcement officer.
No,
Or is that what you're handing out different from that?
currently what we have in the salary ordinance that you have in your hands is, I don't believe town marshal's listed there, so town marshal's 1. Then we have a detective position, which is changing to chief deputy position, in January in this. That's been discussed before. Then we have 3 deputy marshal positions, so 5 sworn officers.
So you're not using a detective, because we changed the salary ordinance last year to add a detective.
Yeah, and so as we,
Identification, so you're dropping that?
no, so as well, we're changing the name, and so we discussed that at a previous board meeting. Changing the name of detective to chief deputy position.
So you're not having a detective? You're not have, I thought you just hired somebody to be a.
We do, what I'm saying is, I was advised by either the board or yourself that we would change that name Either way, this needs revised. I would like to keep that as a detective, but at the meeting where I requested that. I think it was said it would be easier, might have been last meeting, that it would be easier just to call that person a deputy marshal instead of the.
I said was, you need to change it with a new salary ordinance to a different name, but you can give them a job description and the wage because it was within bracket, but that's why it appears on this 2026 salary ordinance, because this, what you're you haven't shared anything with me about what was.
I shared at the public meeting last time, but so we're essentially we have a detective position. But that was decided it would be better and easier for logistics of a board meeting to keep that as a deputy marshal title. To simplify, what I'm trying to do here is just to add 2 positions for deputy marshal. And then we can deal with the title as we need to before the January confirmation.
So there's no code enforcement officer anymore.
Yes, there is. So
It's
but
just
that's
titles,
not a
is what
sworn, that's not a
I don't
sworn
put that
officer.
on here, it's just titles.
Well,
Yeah.
it's positions.
The code officer is not a sworn officer. Oh, sorry, go ahead. So the code officer is not a sworn officer position, and therefore the wage of that's less than, so it's like we have others that the police budget's responsible for, like crossing guard / compost security.
So we got 4 deputies on now that gets paid.
No, we have 3 deputies.
What is
Plus
the
you.
Well, yeah.
What is the
4
IDAC?
total positions.
coordinator?
IDEX coordinator? IDEX coordinator, we actually don't pay anything for that. That is, the head dispatcher of Tippecanoe County serves our IDEX. IDEX is what we use to run license plates and driver's licenses. I reached out to her. I think we need to keep that position on the ordinance. Just in case the next person is not as kind and wants to be paid for it. Said that she can do it as part of her duties with the county.
I've not seen it show up before.
It's been there every year, but it is odd. It's-
Well, it isn't there now because we haven't paid anybody in that position for a couple of years, so for keeping it, and that I can put it back on the draft.
I would recommend keeping it just in case, I've said the next person that comes in might have a change of heart about being paid. I think historically we have paid her in the past to do that for us, but she's not requested any funds for quite a while.
Who does she work for?
Tippecanoe County Dispatch.
Okay. And we would have to pay her because,
Because we have the privilege of running license plates, running driver's licenses. There's a lot of requirements and restrictions
right,
revolving around that. They're very careful about who you can run and who you can and how you can run them and how you can't.
I guess I
So
was
it's
just,
one managed.
I get that, I get the specificity of the job, but doesn't the county and you guys work together?
We do, but we're a separate agency than the county and we're requesting a license plate or driver's license, those kind of services.
So if somebody from the sheriff's office is in town and they want to run a plate for in Battleground, they won't charge it, but if we ask them, they'll charge us. I mean, that's
Well, we don't get
the
charged
theory.
we don't get charged every time we run a plate. We're charged for someone making sure that we're in compliance with the IDEX system. That $14 an hour that we're not being charged, so the 0 a year is a lot softer than having to pay for an actual IDEX certification for our agency, where we would be in control of that. That's what the centralized dispatch is for.
Yeah, that's what so it's a centralized dispatch.
Mhm.
So there really shouldn't be any charge for it, right?
I mean, that would be a conversation with the state of Indiana, I guess, of like how that's signed, but this is every agency that wants to be able to run.
You can see my confusion.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, it looks like somebody would be double dipping if you paid them by the hour for something that
Absolutely.
they were getting paid
Yeah.
for someone else to.
Yeah, so I would,
Available for.
I would trust Susan to have more integrity than that, but, they would do that on their own time to be getting records. I think the process, and I'm not a dispatcher, is to, they're given a certain amount of cases to audit, and then they would go through and show that that audit was successful. Yeah.
Just.
So it's not something This has been on here for long. Is that correct? LIDX? Was you seen that before?
Yeah.
Okay, it's, yeah,
Yeah, this is nothing new whatsoever, and
just keeping it on there if needed.
and
We should.
Yeah, it's
and the $0 that we pay now prevents us from having to pay an exorbitant amount of money and then having to relearn an entire, or learn for the first time an entire system. At every dispatch.
But that's what's nice about Tippecanoe County working with us. on
Oh,
this
yeah,
stuff.
multi-agency cooperation is very thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
So as. I feel obligated to comment on the budget aspect of adding more people to the. Payroll for the police department, however. However, we might want to see more coverage for the ordinance type things in town. Adding patrol officers. There's a substantial amount of gear for each person when they're added. And our budget, our allocation for public safety. We don't know if it's gonna continue and at the level that it is. So that is the one thing that is unknown for 26 and 27 is if we add to our. Numbers, we don't know for sure that that money is gonna, it may come in, but we don't know for sure that it will increase.
Cause we don't have enough, well, I guess,
We paid for all of the ones that we have now.
Right.
So if you add two more, it would just be another, what, I don't know, $10,000 or $12,000, but that one sticker is the 5 Axon. That 5 units that we
Yes.
got from Axon wouldn't be sufficient if we had
Float.
6 people.
Yeah,
We've got float.
we've floated and we've got at least one that we're not using, that we've got 2 right now that need to be signed, so. But George brought that point up about, unsure about the future with that, that's why I feel like it's important to push this right now. So that we can get that equipment while we know that that money's there, and.
Well, the money
Yeah,
doesn't
fine.
go away. I mean, you'll have money in January if you don't spend it now. I'm just saying that for. Education, all the things that go with having 6 officers, we don't know where that money will really come from.
So I would hope the board would want to see more solid figures on that, before making a decision, but, about those things. Right now, we need to have more police cars, more hours of police cars driving around. We want to be visible too, if we don't have, if you have to take off because of a full-time job. Or whatever the conflict is, there happens to be, and we don't have anyone but 2 more numbers to call, and you can see why this is the problem. If we have a full-time department, then obviously we've got built in where we're covering a lot more hours, that's the primary job, so. This is certainly not the most officers Battleground has had in its past. I've seen a picture of 10 officers in one picture, so with what we've got going in. Kind of want to get people up at speed and ready for it, obviously we're not lacking in call volume, so. They will show up, yes, sir.
So, what decisions are you looking for?
Right now, I just,
Or,
currently, I just am looking for, approving 2, more part-time deputy positions.
what about an ordinance?
And then I've got that's my next item of business.
Oh. Do we have the equipment for 2 deputies?
We have purchased equipment for deputies, by state law, we have to provide. The bullet
Yeah.
vest, yeah,
Do you have a budget to pay for these people?
that's, I would have to look and see if we have the budget for what we have, I can't answer you.
I would
I think
say-
we have the budget, but I don't know the
I
exact.
think
numbers.
probably you should take a look at your budget and see if you have enough money to cover that, you know.
Well,
because-
we've got excess this year to be able to cover for that. I just don't like to give exact, like, here's how much we have based on a personal opinion at a meeting, so. But I can tell you that we have enough to outfit, at least another officer, and then we will look at to see what we do for the last one. I just really need at least 1 more person now.
Do you have a problem with okaying one person, an additional person?
No, I don't either, as long as we get the coverage.
So
Yeah. Better than what we have.
So what I was hearing was you're looking at setting up the salary ordinance, not a decision for someone today. You have people, you have vacancies to hire today, right?
I do not, no, I've got, no, that was taken by the detective. I need 2 part-time deputy positions available, so that way I've got one person right now that's immediately interested with great qualifications. And then that will leave me that option to see about outfitting that second person. Otherwise,
Who's all on your roster right now?
what's that?
Who is all on your
So
roster?
myself, Town Marshal, Chief Deputy is Fred Townsend,
Mhm,
we have Mark Osby,
uh-huh.
Brian Durham is the recent hire for the detective position.
Okay, we need to
And we have-
meet him at some point.
Yeah, obviously, and then we have, he's having a surgery, but, and then we have, Susan Jenkins, the reserve officer.
So that one on your roster, does he patrol?
No, like I said, which one are you referring to, sir?
Well, you said.
Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said at the last meeting, and I think at the end of it, I said, I want to make a special point to tell you that this person won't be patrolling, they're there for investigations. So
Oh, he
that-
won't be
that-
patrolling?
No, like I said at the last meeting, I said, board, I want to make a special point. This person will not be patrolling, so please don't expect to see them there. This is an assistance for investigations. So I don't think I could have made that clear, but, so that's, but I need patrol is what I need right now, and.
Do we
I think the
have a
town
lot
would
of
like that, so-
investigations going on right now that we need one person specifically for that?
Do we have a lot of investigations?
That ebbs and flows.
Could he not be more, like if he didn't have investigations, he'd go out and patrol and,
Yeah, so I'm surprised we're having that conversation now, I was really concerned that you guys knew that at the last meeting. That is certainly an option, that was not the agreement when they were hired, it was, they will be working hours if they are needed. And we need extra investigation, what happens when we do have an investigation is that we're all pulled away from it.
right?
And having someone who I don't have to give that level of equipment to. I didn't have to purchase the.
So he will only work when you have an investigation.
Yes, and in the trade-off for that, I had a much more limited amount of equipment I had to purchase for him,
Okay,
so these were.
so you still have another full set of equipment for another part-time
Yes, I
person.
need to be able sorry.
Because I didn't really realize that you were bringing this up, I just want you to have this, because I think that you already have these positions.
So we're,
And I'm sorry to keep pounding, and I think that you already dealt with this at a previous meeting, so if not, I need to be aware of what you're adding, so I can get to. Because, I need to be able to revise the salary ordinance. If this is not where you're at, and you're thinking,
so I guess.
this was implemented previously to add your detective position.
And so I think we're having a repetitive conversation, but to simplify, in total, what I'm ever requesting is that we be allowed 7 sworn officers. Part-time officers, not part-time.
7 sworn,
7 sworn
and
officers.
1 is reserved.
No, there's, 1 is reserved, yes, so 7 sworn positions, 1 reserve position. The reserve positions, I'm not worried about, the board was pretty good in taking care of, making sure that was, the reserve program would be available and have enough positions. We haven't filled that, or started to, those would also require equipment and other things. But what I'm looking for is 7 sworn part-time deputies, or part-time officers, county and.
But you said, and just get this straight in my head, if we gave you permission for 1 more. You already have the equipment for them,
I do
correct?
not, I would have to
Okay.
purchase the equipment for the officer, which we can do
But you
that.
have the equipment for like the radio stuff and all that.
So there's some things that are shared, yeah, so like the radio, we have what's that? Yeah, we've got cool items that we.
But they have to have their own vests and all of that.
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely, yeah, that's state law.
I do know that,
Yeah.
yeah,
And so we do have the money for that, that we can use.
that's in your budget.
But what I don't want is to have to come back every meeting and say, can we have another one? We got another one. I'm trying to grow into, those extra two. And I've got somebody who can immediately get started with that, with one of those. But it's really hard to stretch people out, especially if they've got full-time job commitments. If we were a full-time department, we wouldn't be having the discussion, so.
So. What I heard you say is 7 sworn, but 1 is a reserve.
7's one plus one,
Plus-
plus one reserve right now is what we.
So from here until January, you have 6. From here until January, you have 6, unless the council determines to update the salary ordinance at the next meeting.
6.
You have marshal, you have every chief, you have a detective, and you have 3 deputies.
So that it's not list, there's no chief deputy listed on this. New. Where's the chief deputy?
Let's see, code enforcement detective, chief deputy.
Okay. So you're adding a chief deputy
And that's,
And-
yeah,
up for.
I guess you can say it that way, yeah, it's that would be a total of 7.
I got it in writing.
And that's why what I'm requesting is just a total of 7 sworn part-time officers, just to make it simple, then we can get the wording correctly. It's not saying that ups our salary budget, that's saying that. We have people we can get out on the street when we need to. We don't like not being out either, but it's a balance when we're part-time. I think I've yet to run into somebody that wasn't in favor of having more coverage, so.
Well, I know, it's not that, I'm in favor of having coverage, I just wanna make sure we can afford it.
Yeah, and so
Right.
we've got a salary budget that we fall under. If the board wanted to raise a little bit, that's a different conversation. So we still have a budget for salary that we fall under.
So you've already
I've got,
put your numbers together, and with all these people, you have enough money in your salary budget.
we're trying to fill, correct, we're trying to fill the times that we have now.
I get that,
Yeah.
yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you add these 2 people, your salary budget will cover the additional people,
It'll cover the additional people. I mean, it has to. That's-
along with what you guys have.
It has to unless the board chooses they want more hours of cars on the
No,
road
it's,
than we currently have.
I think, I mean,
I'm
it's
okay.
plain and simple, he's just want more people that he can call and make sure that he's got people on the street, because these guys got full-time jobs and
Right,
they're not available. I mean, that's all it is. He just wants 2 more people to call from. I mean, yeah,
That's exactly right.
it's not that they're gonna be on the street all the time. It's just that it gives a better pool to be able to call.
Any problem with that, Counselor?
Nope.
Better make a motion to grant,
I make a motion to add 2 more deputies.
part-time, yeah.
motion by that topic. Was it, did you second it? I second. Oh, Chad seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, councilors.
Thank you. The other call from the public that we agree with, ordinances are kind of fickle and funny in that. We get complaints when they're not enforced, but then as you've noticed. Maybe on Facebook, we get complaints when they are enforced too. So that's the nature of, I guess, the governing body, right? We have already by salary ordinance, an existing position for a code enforcement officer. I'm just saying I plan to fill that position. Very, very soon.
And you're not looking for our approval or
I don't believe I need approval
You're
for
just
that.
informing us of your intentions.
Yeah,
Okay.
for intentions, I'm very happy to. Get that so that we can.
I think that would be great, because there's a lot of ordinances, a lot of violations going on. Anything else, BJ?
The one, and it's too bad that Mr. Burns isn't here. The concern I do have with the code enforcement officer is vehicle. They need to be able to get around town. That's something that other communities I reached out to, like Fowler. They have an agreement where they drive their vehicle, but any employee of the police department should be insured to drive any town vehicle. Police or otherwise, so, but that's something to think about. What are they gonna drive? we have, I think possibly some options for, a very expensive vehicle from West Lafayette Police Department. But that is something that I guess we need to think about too. How do you want that represented around town? That's what I'm saying, visibility wise.
My thought is it doesn't have to be a full vehicle. I mean,
Golf cart.
yeah, well, no, but like,
December might disagree, but.
yeah, well, I'm just saying, like those, what do they call it, some photos or gator, yeah.
So, I mean. They would have to be street legal and all of that.
Right,
I mean, a vehicle like that, like a. There's range or something to that effect, I mean,
Wouldn't you want them identified?
Yeah, I.
they would be,
I mean,
they would be,
even with the code or whatever you're talking. like,
they use smaller
get a
vehicles and they
magnet,
still
they drive
mark
their own
them.
car, you pay mileage.
yeah,
So-
smart code for it. So there'd be.
They mark the
I
enforcement
just don't,
ones.
I personally just don't like the idea of somebody driving an unmarked personal vehicle and going up and knocking on doors.
I agree with that.
That is
it's not
true.
safe to me, so, I just want to let the board know that we would need to purchase something like that.
Well, we got 2 police cars, correct?
We do have 2 police cars, yeah.
Okay, you only use one at a time when you're patrolling, correct?
David
So-
disagree, but yeah,
Yeah,
They're
so
both on today.
code enforcement, they can use that until we decide to get something for them.
okay, well, so if they're able to use a police car until we can get it worked out, then.
Yeah,
Could you come up with some alternative suggestions for transportation?
That's why I'm coming.
Okay, well,
Well, but.
make some suggestions for us, okay?
No, my only concern with code enforcement using a marked squad car is not represented as a sworn officer. In a different position.
In-person police officer, so that's not what they are.
Yeah,
Right.
I can tell you also it's very tacky to have a white magnet decal covering the police on the side of it, so. I've seen it done, but it's pretty tacky,
And this is just me, but at Purdue, the zone people now use those smaller vehicles. And they're air conditioned and heated and all that kind of stuff. And that's really the only thing, and then you just put on the side of it, battleground code enforcement.
I'm happy to present that, yeah, that.
Yeah,
That-
but I'm saying we don't need to have a huge vehicle for
No,
something
no.
like that.
Yeah, I'm
Just
happy.
something smaller.
I just didn't, you go for it, so to be honest with you, so I'm happy to present that at the next meeting, absolutely.
I know where there's a vehicle that's just sitting there, and I'd love to be used.
Readiness 102,
Yes.
those are good ones, we do that.
Sorry, okay, moving on.
Yeah, I have one last thing.
One last thing.
One thing, I'm sorry, for the officer that I do have that's wanting to come in now, this gentleman left Purdue Police Department in order to pursue a full-time nonprofit program that's, I believe it's called like Warriors Reunited. Yeah, he's a former Marine, and he's got too much experience for what we deserve, but he left to do the nonprofit thing, and so reuniting veterans. He can start right away. I get started right away. I need to get a vest ordered because these things take a long time to come in. So what I need is approval for the exact same thing we have now, to be able to purchase them.
How much does it cost?
So the outer carrier armor express panel, this thing costs $1,482.99, unless it's gone up, but. So I would say if you said 16, it would be fine.
16. Like to make motions to approve buying another police vest, bulletproof vest for the new position up to $1,600.
Second. Motion by Mary Jo, second by Steve Hahn. Any discussion, counselors? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Thank you, counselors.
I'm done, Mr. President.
Yay,
Figured you'd like that.
Mr. Ron.
All right, the first thing I have is inform the council that Jansen did pass his test. So in IDM's eyes, he is now a certified operator, but he has 700 more hours to finish to become official. I would say to the council, it probably would be a smart decision
to keep Scott on, for at least a few months. After he's official, that way he can show Jansen wasting and certain things of the plant and how it works properly. We can go outsource to Alliance and have new people come in and show Jansen. But somebody that's been at the plant for 15, 20 years is gonna know it a whole lot better, so. I would say at least 3 months, probably. Go for everything.
How long is it gonna take him to do 700 hours? And what does that entail?
He's done, July, he's done with all his classes.
There's just more classes.
It's more classes and he's gotta have 4,000 hours.
Just simplify the way people feel, yeah. So it was on home trip share.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was different from when I took the test. Now they let him take it a semester early.
Cool.
For whatever reason, and he passed, so. Yeah. Great. The next thing I have is before winter hits, the white truck needs new tires. I called Tom's, got 281 per tire, which would be $1,144 for the four.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah,
It's on the line.
I'll make a motion to buy new tires for the white pickup truck
Second.
in the amount of
$1,200.
$1,200.
Motion by Steve Hand, second by Matt Topic. There's no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you, councilors.
The last thing I have is, the 2 trees on Winnan have been taken down. And there's been some work done on High School for a total of 2,700. And I know we did 2 separate approvals. But we are working right now with a schedule that he's booked out until January. Whenever he has, a couple hours here, he'll come back and do some more. So that totals $2,700 for what he's done so far. And I'd like to get a motion to pay him.
Oh. I'd like to make a motion to pay, what's his name?
Elevate Tree Service.
Elevate Tree Service for $2,700.
Yes.
Second.
Motion by Mary Jo, second by Steve Hahn, any discussion, councilors? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you.
Thanks for taking care of that too.
All right, the last thing I have. I talked late Friday night to my 2 contractors for concrete. They strongly suggest that we hold off till spring. He said, with the other chemicals and stuff, your concrete's gonna be a darker gray. It won't look as nice.
Where at?
High school. Right, so,
Okay,
You pour some concrete already up there? You pour concrete already?
no,
We're still pouring concrete.
okay, but they're,
And they said, when would they say?
right now, neither could get here until December.
Yeah,
So spring is better.
Yeah, Dixon's got Lafayette.
yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 boys and Dixon.
That's high school and Main Street.
No, Main Street was put on the list. On one of their lists of that.
and so
Main Street will get done and the cracks will get done at the businesses
this year,
this year.
now Main Street being, Gary Carter's property, okay, great.
Nice.
And I've already went up there and I've trimmed all the trees, so.
Oh, you trim those trees? So this raises a question that I was gonna bring up earlier. So you're doing the maintenance for the homeowner. Right? The homeowner was supposed to maintain, lift the canopy or whatever it was.
Okay. I was told that I'm responsible for making clear pathway.
Well, I don't know, I don't, just asking for clarification. So did you trim the branches up at the school also?
No, they did that. I
No.
called them on those.
No, I did not.
The school did those.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did what they could reach and.
Yeah, at the same time I did, I went all the way down North Railroad.
I don't know what you got in North River, sorry.
Everything that's hanging out over the road. High enough to a school bus
I got it,
or a UPS truck.
okay.
It's been cut off.
So the question I had, that we gave these property owners notice of keeping the properties upgraded, or keeping their sidewalks upgraded. What if they're not doing that? They've been given notice. Who goes in and corrects it? And Ron, what I just heard you said, well, I did that. I trimmed back branches over at Gary Carter's, okay, which is great. I thought Gary Carter did it, so boy, he's on the job. But no, it was you. So we're doing the work for them. Help me out. I mean,
Well, if we already gave him notice and he does it, then why can't we just send him a charge?
Well, we're doing their
Charge
sidewalk.
him.
I mean,
yeah, okay, so how about the rest of the folks going down there who aren't edging their sidewalks, even though some people are doing it? What about the property owners who are not abiding by our request to maintain their sidewalks? Do our town employees go in and do that work? Or who does that work? How does it get done if they don't do it? Who does it?
Yes,
I was
to
prepping for a project.
what extent do we maintain?
Go.
I'm using 102 Jewett as the test case. They were an ordinance violation was hung on the door. It was ignored. We had to do something. So our local force went in, corrected the situation. Ron gave me a paper that said we did this, it took this many hours. And we're putting that as a lien on with the tree service that, not the tree service, the people that tarp the roof.
Yeah.
So all that's going on as a lien because we got nothing back from the notice. Now the other, if there's no communication when the ordinance violation is placed and we don't know how long they've had it, they have to have it for 10 days before we can place a lien. So if we don't have any communication that the ordinance violation was placed, then it is a failure on our part. We can't lien to get the amount of the feedback for correcting the situation.
But my impression is that BJ gave everybody an ordinance violation notice.
He may have, but I need to know so I can start the clock on when we can pay it
Do you
for
have,
them.
Yeah, we've got that, it's documented, we mentioned that previous meeting as well, that they have been cited.
Well,
Georgia needs
I
the
need
date.
something in writing that says what day it was placed and at what point you think it's not been responded to, because I think they'll respond to you, not
They
to
haven't
us.
responded to us since whatever.
Okay, so back to
the country.
back to the issue. They don't do edging on their sidewalks or whatever the particular issue is. Does a town employee go in and edge that, or do we hire a contractor, a landscaper to come in and say, hey, look, I want you to go down through here. Make a note of how much time you spend at each property. I want you to clean it out. How do you want to do this?
Is that, I mean, I guess how far can we go with the sidewalks? I mean, can we make them edge the sidewalks and stuff of that nature? I mean, that's, I guess what's the parameters? What's an ordinance? I can understand, if their sidewalk shit and it's broke up, yeah, we have that there, but as far as edging and pulling weeds, I don't know,
Some of these sidewalks are obscured by about 50%. Okay,
grass
encroaching alongside. Some homeowners have been out addressing the problem, but what about the ones who don't? So just raising the question, because here it is. I mean, the whole goal was to get the sidewalk more accessible, walkable, and more easily walkable.
Walkable, yes.
If I
Yes.
guess from an enforcement standpoint, it says obstructed, and so what is that, and I think that's what you're saying as well, it's a fair point, is at what point do you say one's good and the other's not? And so is that?
So we need to amend the ordinance to define
I think
more
that,
broadly what obstructed means.
I would say, yeah, I mean, that's. Mr. Buck, you, with stuff like this and stuff, yeah.
Where's the lawyer?
Hit it to the attorney. Right.
How about checking with the ordinance from Lafayette or West
That's what, yeah.
Lafayette, see how they do this. I mean, I don't think they come in and edge the sidewalk.
No, no.
And I think you're right, BJ, it's just obstruction. You know, crack, sidewalk lifted up, whatever, you know, then we can give them a notice, or grass growing out into the
Okay,
sidewalk.
so devil's advocate here, what if it's a branch overhanging? Okay,
No, that's,
Oh, well, yeah, that,
That trees in the right,
Yeah.
it's our problem, right? Like,
I
chop
don't
down
know.
the trees.
I think
Good
it is
question.
an ordinance about.
how far you go.
Yeah,
Well, okay, the goal here was to make the sidewalk more, the sidewalk corridor we're talking about, more passable. And there are a couple sections that. You know, single file. So. How do you wanna handle it, folks? Or you just wanna pass the buck? I don't care. I'm
Well,
talking about
I
it.
guess I'm thinking about like. I guess I even need to more broadly define like what passable is. Like,
I got it, I got it,
Like,
I got it.
within the ordinance itself, like, if we say that, you know, we need sidewalks to have at least 4 feet
So,
of, from.
I
the
think you need
edge.
to know a scope of what. What's
Right,
in our ordinance
that
and
we
what
can-
everybody else and what we can, what's,
Not subjectively, but objectively lay down something and measure what the obstruction actually is. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a lot of blowback. We say, you know, I tested, that's not good enough, that's fine. And
so what I'm hearing you say, we needed to set standards.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
and we do have a standard for the trees overhang on the sidewalk.
Right,
They need
6
to be-
feet or
yeah.
8 feet or whatever it is, yeah, okay, fine, okay, I'm done with that topic, thanks. Are we done, Ron?
I got a question, where we at fixing inlets?
So they're on schedule probably here in. Probably a couple weeks.
Couple things I wanna ask too, and it's not. This is not directed at you, but you know, we're having conversation with folks that were here from IMI, the IMI guy. Earlier, you know, we've got allegedly, we're collecting these funds. What are we doing? And again, just hearing what Ron, the stuff that you have doing extra stuff. What are we doing as a town as far as taking care of, i.e. inlets? Are you getting around inspecting that stuff regularly to see, you know, if we have money that we're collecting from people taking care of that stuff? I know you've made mention, you know, we're building a brand new lift station for Hawks Nest, right? We have I-9 on Hawks Nest, right? That we need to take care of. Where are we at for taking care of stuff of that nature? What's our plan for that? I mean, if we're collecting money from people and then we're not taking care of that stuff because maybe we've got you taxed with doing other stuff, how are we gonna address that? I mean, this is not this meeting right now, this is long term, but if we're collecting money from people and we're adding new infrastructure, how are we taking care of the old stuff? We're wanting to add new stuff, you know, we're looking at talking about building a town hall. You're talking about solar. You know, there's some stuff that we need to probably take care of and clean house internally first before we start adding other stuff. You know, we're gonna have projects that are coming up here on the hill that are gonna start bringing revenue into this town. That are gonna allow us to build whatever town hall you wanna do, whatever solar array you wanna do, wherever that is, but we need to get some of that stuff taken care of before we start looking at some of these other things, so. That's just my opinion, so. Yeah,
Well, every. For our permit, for my dam, every 5 years. Every 3 years, all the catch basins get completely drained. Sucked out, cleaned out, we inspect every year, all of them, we have about 118. There are 5 on the list to be repaired. Along with that fee, we pay, I think it's right around 9,000. For the MS4 group. Which if we did it on our own, it would be about 200,000. It's based on size of communities. Purdue or, Tiffany County and Lafayette pay a bulk of that. We put on, conferences. And that's what we do for there. Every every 5 years, I have to test all the outfalls. In one of my times doing that, I found substance coming out of one up on 43. I had the health department and a couple other agencies involved. And it was petroleum. Then a mediation was put in at the.
Part of the reason for asking the question too, in our research for Hawks Nest. In the area of the lift station, new lift station, correct me if I'm wrong. In the Hawks Nest or the Shawnee,
It was the Hawks Nest plans,
Yeah.
showed that that was originally designed as a, storm detention area.
storm detention area where we're putting the lift station right now, which is, it's not there. And then there's an outlet or an outfall structure
Looked like a structure that hadn't been maintained.
that hadn't been maintained. I don't know if it's ours, but.
That's a county certified ditch.
Okay, so it's washed down the ditch,
It's
so, you know,
about way
it's
down.
way down the ditch now.
Right.
There, so just stuff like that, you know, stuff that we need to probably, or at least make notification to the county and say, hey, you know what, this is a potential issue.
Battle View North. Surrounds the water tower,
Mhm.
that is a county certified ditch. We've been,
The one that floods.
right, and we've. Unclogged it several times in emergency situations. We've contacted the county several times, they've been out a little bit. And they basically told us they'd rather not do it anymore, because they're losing money on it.
Seems like a them problem, not a us problem.
But if you can't get them to come out, then.
Okay. Thank you.
Ron, it looks good where you took those trees out in front of the school. The stumps and.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
looks really nice.
I was gonna,
Just like
okay,
us.
this is probably enough time for that, but we're gonna have spoil. Coming off of some of that stuff up at Hawks Nest.
Okay.
Why don't we bring it down there and you spread it and try to clean that up, make it, looks better,
Done.
but I think it
Careful now, that's been seeded.
has it, oh, that sucks.
Oh,
Seeds cheap. Seeds cheap. I think it could look better. That's just me.
Matt, I agree with you. It could be better.
I mean, it's representing the town that looks like shit. That's bottom line.
Hey, back to address a couple of your questions about I up in the Hawks
Yeah.
Nest. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was. There was a concerted effort to try to address that. Letters were sent out to all the homeowners. I think Ron or Dan or somebody went up and tried to look how those connections were made. And it was just,
I agree with you. I think there's some, not to interrupt you, but I think there's some other areas up there that I know you and I talked about. That are actually, it's our infrastructure.
well,
That's-
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's mainline sewer that we're getting water in, and then we got some manholes that we got some I coming into around the boots and stuff. So I'm about positive. I know there's, I get one probably tomorrow if you want me to.
I think there's a couple manholes that we haven't worked on yet. There is, in between Nashette and Sabuda. It's about 20 foot down. There is a pipe that I did a repair on that line a few years ago, and the contractor had pushed the pipe through the tap.
The laterals dropped into it and just pushed into the main line, so.
So basically your tap sticks out like this, and then you put your pipe on, and theirs was like this. They pushed it into the pipe. Which now forms a bowl
Yeah.
to collect all the groundwater. I believe it's gonna be probably the same scenario. The only difference is it's 20.
Okay, I'm watching the clock here a little bit. Are we done massaging these stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What's next on that you want to talk about? Are we on the committee reports, a sidewalk project? I gather that's up at the school that's dead for this year.
We need to move the money. Appropriate it for next spring.
Okay, we can do that. You know, somebody makes a note to make sure that gets done. Anything else under committee reports we need to talk about? I'm not aware of it if we do. Town hall, we've got that kind of covered, that's gonna be coming up at next meeting. Solar project, Matt, did you get I don't know if your emails are going through.
If you're sending it to Matt at Rocking Dirt Excavating, I'm getting them, but if you send it to Matt dot Rocking Dirt Excavating.
I don't know what it was. Did you get some information on solar?
I did not.
Well,
It's in your, it was
It's a private.
copied for you in the materials that we.
but basically, to summarize it. There's a 30% off sale going on right now, but it's gonna close. It's gonna close out at the end of the year. Also, you know what solar does? It stops. It freezes inflation on your electric bill. And according, in the email that I sent out to you, I gave you references on the sources for this information, okay? You know, they're saying that in the US, year-on-year increase is 6.2% for electricity. And okay, solar will freeze that. We won't have to worry about it. Our electric bill won't go up because of inflation. This deal is going to disappear, and we have, if you want to do it, we need to make a decision.
They have to give us our return on investment information that we asked about when it came to.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes, it's like there was a summary on that. It's not the full-blown pro forma, but savings of the first year was $3,000. It's not much, but over the course of the lifetime, it's a couple $100,000.
What about maintenance? What about when those things are shit, and then you gotta go in and dig the 4 to 8 feet of material out from underneath it once they are done, that then you have to take to a landfill. There's a lot of other stuff that.
Oh, well, I'm fine. I don't care.
I'm just-
Counselors,
Just make.
if you want to have excuses for not doing it, Matt, you're doing a good job.
I'm not
That's,
trying to make an excuse.
that's fine.
We need to know all the data.
That's fine, but I'm telling you. The timeline is gonna run out. And it's getting really close. If you want to do it, fine. All the engineering is done. They've given you all the information. Matt's raising some issues. Okay. But still. Opportunity. I don't care what the turn. I mean, if the return on investment is gonna be. It's gonna be at least break even. But the important part is, we're freezing our electric bill. We don't have any inflation on our electric bill. So if you want to look at that information, here's something else. China, not that we have to, why is China installing so much solar? They added almost 200 gigawatts. How much is the USA installing? 30 gigawatts. Now, why are they doing that? What has China got on us that, whatever? Question,
Where are
Julie.
you planning on putting the solar panels?
Down to the waste treatment plant,
And, just on the land or?
to the south side of it. Some of the trees would have to be removed. I'm just bringing this up. I mean, if you want to do something with it, if you don't, that's okay. You're making the decision, but, if
Like read up on it before I.
Can we make it an agenda item for November?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what we're gonna do about it.
that's fine. Put
Put it on your October 27th.
It's your.
And for sure, the energy that's produced by that will be used by the town of Battleground and not sold out to California, et cetera?
Absolutely, it's being used by the waste treatment plant. It's reducing their electric bill. They're basically, we're setting up a mine. We're mining our own energy, and so.
Jim, I did get it. You did get through it when I overlooked it.
I didn't hear you.
I did get it. I overlooked it. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
it. Yeah.
I tried to provide some, and if you want to get the whole pro forma, it's kind of in depth and detail, but however you want to do it, let me know. Anything else you want to talk about on the agenda? Anything else you want to talk about? period.
If
Enjoyed it.
You commented that you have a pro forma, it would probably be good to circulate that again, because it's been a couple years, and I don't know if council.
And the caveat on this,
Chad didn't have an opportunity to see.
and the caveat on this is that this data is, 2 years old. So there will be some slight adjustments, okay? What else was I? Seemed like there was no thought.
You said there was a batch the pro forma was.
No,
Yeah.
we need the pro forma again, because like you said, the data's 2 years old. Chad's never had an opportunity to see it, and I'm not sure where mine is, if I. There's pushing, give it to me, but I don't know that I have it.
And the according to these figures, it was $345,000 when he said, now with the 30% off, it takes that down to $241,000. So, and these are not precise numbers, they're good ballpark numbers. So, and if there's any money left over from the BOT, Greg Mark said he was trying to earmark for this project or apply to it. Our out-of-pocket expense. I don't know. It's not gonna be $300,000, even if he ponies up $1,000, it's not like it's. I'm just letting everybody. So. Okay. Any questions from the gallery? Is there anybody online, George, that we need to?
There is not.
There's not. Sir, do you have?
No question.
You're just entertaining yourself tonight. Okay, great, I appreciate it.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved, thank you, good. Thank you, everybody for coming.
I think they would.
Might not.
Was remaining to last.
Yeah.
So sweet bird too.
They're doing well.
Good.
Said she might join me for a meeting in the. Figure out, lived in Dallas for 23 years, about time I start coming to board meeting. Yeah.
No, that's simply.
It gives you the order of business and the things going on.
Yeah.
It's always very true, rather than just being the recipient of the decision, it's just without a doubt.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Go away. Yeah, that. All of it. Some of the best times ever. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Take care. It's good to see you again.
But if you get a vote.
Yeah. So I'm gonna.
My brother.
I'll show you.
Death-defying venture. Yeah. So. Thought I finally come down and kind of. Yeah.